Drishti, we can start the session.
Yeah. Okay. Namaste everyone. My name is Drishti, and I'll be taking a session today. Today we'll be focusing on more on core and the ligaments. So when I say crux, core, it is nothing but the muscles that is underlying the torso, which is very important to have a right posture of the body, whether you're sitting, standing. Your core is very important for that. And ligaments is more of nothing but the tissues that hold your muscles, the bones. So ligament, when we say strengthening, it's also more of your stretching also. So we'll go part by part. We'll be a little mixed in the later part. But starting off, I want to start off a little stretch on the whole body, basically the neck also, because when we stretch on the core and the ligaments, we tend to go on a lot of asanas where we bend our neck. And I don't want, if you haven't done anything since morning, if the body is not warmed up, so 2-3 minutes, we want to warm up a little bit on the body also. So when we're sitting, I'll start the posture, which also when I say core, it's very important. When I'm sitting, I'll show you from the side also. There'll be certain terms which I'll be using. So when we are sitting, easy pose, when I say, you can use your leg anyhow. You can put one leg on top or you can sit the way you were. But again, if possible, be mindful. If possible, do not sit with one leg on top because sometimes the leg underneath tends to go to sleep. We tend to press some nerve and it goes to sleep. So if possible, sit with one leg, or the best is to sit with one leg in front of the other one. So there's nothing getting pressed, and also consciously possible, please keep changing. If the right is in front right now, after a while, please put the left in front. Now coming to posture. When I say the core, so if I'm sitting like this, like the same few terms I'll be using. When we sit, we always tend to have a little comfortable. I know I won't be saying slouching. So when I say slouch, instead of flush, I'll be say comfortable. So when we sit, we always sit like this. So again, when I say posture correction, if I say sit straight, a lot of people will tend to do this. The chest will go out, or they tend to have an arch in the back. So the right way to sit in a posture when you're sitting comfortably is Nothing else, but wherever you are, to just roll your shoulders. The moment you roll your shoulders, your spine is straight. And if you see the hand movement also, the moment you roll, your hand will come back on your knee. So this is the right posture that you sit. Here when you're sitting, you're also working on your core. The core is also helping you to sit straight. The spine is also straight and your posture is right. So anytime you tend to go this, always roll your shoulders, come back, sit straight. So again, starting, let's stretch the neck a little bit. When we stretch the neck, I don't want to go round and round because the spine and the neck is not made in a way that the head goes like top like this. The spine is always here, the head is always on the side. So we always rotate in sideways. We never do on the whole portion. Okay. So what I want us to do is turn your neck on one side. Roll your shoulders first. Turn your neck. Inhale. Gently go down. Roll your neck one time. Again, one more time. Come down. Gently come back one more time. When you're in the center, bring your chin as close to your chest. Now use your hands and give yourself a little more push. You'll get a little bit of pain here, which is nice because that you're stretching your neck. Use your stretch, give yourself a nice push. Now, coming back up, what I want us to do is here we're going to start a little bit of stretch on your hip also, which will help you stretch a little bit of ligaments also. So when we're coming back up, I want us to go back, but also pushing your hip up back. So I'll show you from the side. So if you're sitting like this, when you're pushing your neck down, if your hands are here, when you come back up, always keep your hands, the hands palm is outside, never keep it facing inside. You'll get a catch in your wrist. So always face it straight. Don't go so bent, otherwise it also goes bent. So sit straight as close as possible. Now lift your hip up. The core has to be strong. Keep it strong. Lift up, go all the way back. Stretch as much as you can. Lift your hip up. Look back. The vision should be always on the back. Hold this. Gently come back down and go in the front. Now, in this posture, going back is okay because there is an arch. You find a nice stretch arch it makes. But coming back is very important because the neck and the hip has to come back at the same time. I don't want us to go like this and then the neck comes and the body comes. Never do that because when you're staying in that asana for a long time, the blood goes back, the head is heavy. So always make sure the head and the hip comes back at the same time. Because when we go, we don't do this and go. We always go in the same way. If I'm here, I'll always go same. So when I'm coming back, my neck and hip comes back at the same way. Now when I'm here, go in the front. This is to stretch your hip and your spine also. And it also gives you a nice stretch on your shoulders. Just go down wherever you are comfortable. If possible, see, try not to lift the hip. The spine has to be straight. Try to go a little more forward. See where your hands are going so that you get a nice stretch on your shoulders too. Once you are there, try to come on your fingers and look up. Try to be as close to your mat. This gives you a nice stretch on your core and your spine. If you have any kind of lower back, upper back problem, this is one of the nicest asanas you can do. Now gently bend your elbows, rest. Now coming to the resting, we have warmed up the body. So now we'll go into our main, that is the core, and ligaments are already a little warmed up, but we'll go mainly on the core first. Coming back to the easy pose. Anytime you are doing and you want to go and rest, child pose is one of the poses that we want. So it is not always with your bent leg like when I say child pose. This is one of the child pose. The resting pose also is there. But if you're in your easy pose, you can also go to child pose. This also gives you a nice stretch on your spine and your hips. You can feel a lot of nice stretch on your ligaments here. Because if you're sitting like this, your ligaments are stretching also. And when you go down, you get a nice stretch on your spine too. Always go front and stretch. So that way, your body goes in a spine. Now, coming back on your posture correction. So now, slow, gently, we'll come back on our core. So, when the core is here, mainly on the torso side. So we always try to stretch first to see where our core is, how strong it is. I want us to go on the side and see how our core is. So when we go on the planks also, we fold ourselves. So I'm going to show you this asana. It is mainly going to flex your spine side and also going to give you a nice flex on your cores. Now, when I'm going on the side, I want my elbow very close to my knee. I don't want to very out, very close. It should be exactly where the knee is. Now, coming back, going and coming is what I'll show you. When you go, your hands have to be straight. It cannot be here. If it's here, you might get a catch on your wrist. So always keep it on the side straight. This hand, try not to keep your torso. This is where your torso will come up. You always make sure this is where your torso is getting stretched. Your core is getting nicely stretched here. So here, I want you, when your torso is straight, swing your hands all the way up, stay 45 degrees. If possible, if this knee is coming up, let it not come up here. You're also stretching your ligaments too. So when you're here, try to go towards up. There you're again stretching your torso, your core to the fullest. When you go up, stretch, gently bend your hands, go. So when you're bending, don't come in the front. I always want you to do this. The torso has to be straight, shoulder has to point towards the ceiling, and your hand has to be behind your head. And the last is your vision. Look towards up. So when you're doing this, if you do regularly and if you do this, the last is to go down. So if you can go down, it's very good. Otherwise, what you can do is the hand that is here, you can use that hand to hold this and push. Again, when you're pushing, don't push the hand towards side. I want you to push your hand outside. So if it's here, push it outside. So here you're getting the maximum stretch. You're giving your ligaments too on your core too. So now coming out is more important is if your hand is here, always come on your fingers. Push. Never come back on your hands like this again. You'll get a catch on your wrist. So if you're here, come on your swing this hand, push. Same way, go on the other side. Keep your elbow on one side, hand on the other side, torso straight. Go on the center. Push your hand as much up as you can. And then gently bend your elbows behind your head. For the extra push, use your hand outside. Never do it towards it. Outside, look up. Take your nice breaths. Now, again, when you're coming back, hands here, I want you to come on your fingers. So push your fingers, come back. I want to do one more on each side. When you're going, try not to keep the hand here. The hand goes straight like this. So it's here, push, go straight up, and gently all the way you can. Stay. Now, push yourself up. Use your fingers. Gently come. Same way on the other side too. Hands, palm down. Swing your hands. Try to go more up. Bend your elbows. Push. All the way. One breath. Gently push. Come and sit. So now we have nicely a warm-up has been done, stretched our core, the torso, and our ligaments also. Coming to now, dividing it, we are only going to work on the ligaments a little bit. So when you're sitting here right now, I want us to do a little stretch on the ligaments. What I want you to do is, if you're sitting like this, try to stretch your leg straight. I'm going to show you from the side here. So if I'm here, I'm going to keep my legs straight, both the legs open. And then I'm sitting here again. This is the only position where I don't want us to sit a little comfortable. Here, the only thing I want us to always sit our spine straight. If you sit here, there are a few terms I'm going to use. When the toe is facing towards yourself, that's called active. When you have an active toe, it also means these muscles are very tight. That means you're sitting on it. So if you're sitting like this, if you roll your shoulders, the spine is straight, toe is facing towards yourself, you're nicely warming up your entire core and the ligaments right now. Slowly trying to go down. Sorry. If you're sitting like this, how do you stretch your ligaments? You go towards your toe straight. Now, Wherever you are, the ligaments are open. Only thing I want you to do, don't bend your knee. Wherever you are, try to keep your knees straight, spine straight, and try to go. If you're reaching, very nice. If you're not able to do that, there's another modification to this. Sit straight with your spine straight. Hands, try to go more and then try to go front. That way you're getting a more stretch on your shoulders too. So if you're here, with your own body weight, try to go. Do it 5 times. See where you are. Go, bend, touch. If you're able to touch, hold it. So you'll do it 5 times. With your own body, the 5th time is where you hold. Now, hold, if you can hold, very nice. Wherever you are, wait, stay there and breathe. Try to put your neck down. This is where the stretch will start on your neck. That is why we've already warmed up. So now gently put your neck down and stay. Try not to bend your knees. Wherever we are, we stay. So now, if this is where we are comfortable, we go on the second one, where we bend our elbows. Because for the extreme ligament stretch, I'll show you the whole thing. It is to go front. Intention is to bring your torso to the thighs, not to go and touch the toes. So when we go bend all the way, the torso is touching, our head is also touching the knee, and we stay. Now, to go, we've already done, I'll break it in 3 steps. So the first is to go and touch your toes, which we have done. Now the second is to try, if you're already here, try to hold on to it and bend your elbows. Try to go the elbow towards your knees. Go a little front. So try to see if you can do that. Try not to bend your elbow, bend your knees. Keep it straight. Go. Do it 5 times. On the 5th time, we hold. So bend and hold. So if you can, gently bend your neck too. You'll get that extra stretch here. Now we go on the third, that is the extreme, where you have to touch your knee on the, your head to the knee. So when you're already here, all you have to do is the push that we did using our hand. If you're here, try to use that same push, use your hands, push yourself down. See if you can do that. Try not to come up because there the ligaments will not be stretched. Try to keep it down, straight. Intention is now to touch the neck to the knee. This is the extreme stretch of the ligament on the back side of your knee. So when you're sitting like that, spine straight. See wherever you are. If you're here, use your hand, go more down. If you're here, use it more down. If you're touching it, very nice. Stay. And when you're down there, try to keep your toes active. The toes should not be relaxed. If the toes are active, then you get the nice stretch. If your toes are relaxed, you will not get the nice stretch there. It won't be stretching that the ligaments that well. So make sure your toes are active, facing towards yourself. Your muscles are tight. Go down, stay. Now gently come back up. Now, every time we do an asana, we're moving our body too much on one side. It is always nice to have a counter asana for that too. So if you're going on the ligament straight like this for this, we always do one more for the restoring it. We should do a bridge. So if you just lie down, coming out of that, try to lie down. When you lie down, because the ligament stretch is fine, you will get yourself a little. Sometimes people get catches on the side. If the body is not warmed up, that is okay, normal. So to get out of that, because we went straight down, what I want us to do is hold your knees. This also is a very nice, again, a mix of your core also. So keep your hands here. Don't. So again, there's a lot of modifications here. If you do this and you're used to doing this pose, then your knees can be closer. Your hands can be closer. But again, if it's the first time or you're a beginner here, I would suggest keep your legs a little far away. You'll get more space to lift your hips up. So keep your hands on the side. Try to move your hip up, go up. And again, on this, try to bring your chin close to your chin. And so the do's and don'ts of this asana is when you go up, Again, the hands. Try not to get it too close, not too far. If it's too far, also you'll not get the proper stretch. And if it's possible, when you go up, what happens is for people, the knees tend to go far away. So try consciously not to put the knees far away. The knees has to be where it is. Again, the hip, where the hip goes up, it has to come back where the hip raised up. So if I'm here, if I raise up like this, I cannot come back up or down. The hip has to fall where it is. Okay, so we'll hold this one more time. If you are a beginner, try to keep some space, be comfortable so that you can lift your hip up. And if you have done this, then please keep your legs a little closer. Now, if you are a intermediate and advanced in this, so there's another twist which you can use for your extreme stretches. When you go down, when you go up like this, if you can, try to hold your hands. When you're holding your hands, try to make a fist like this. Now, if this is my extreme, after I can hold my hand, I can roll my shoulders up so that I get some more stretch. So there I can get a nice arch here. Again, what I'm doing, never do that. If your hands are holding like this, never leave your hands in between. When you're coming down, first thing you do is you leave your hands. Never come down with your hands tucked in because the shoulders are tucked. The shoulder blades are tucked inside. So the shoulders are tucked. Always release your hand. Make sure your shoulders are back and gently come down. If you're rolling your shoulders, again, I'm saying if you're rolling your shoulders, never come down when your shoulders are rolling, your hands are tucked. Always untuck, untuck, unroll your shoulders and gently come down. Since I'm lying down like this, I'll lie down so I can save my time. In the end, when we lie down in Savasana, or anytime you want to get up from your bed or your sleeping position, always try to get up from one side so that your spine doesn't get hurt. If you're in Savasana, if you're lying down, always try to fold your knees, swing on one side. Whichever side you swing, use your hand as a pillow so that your spine is rested. The other hand, don't lean like this. Make sure the torso is again straight, shoulders are facing up. Use this hand as a support here so that you get some nice breath in your spine, everything is taken care of. And always use this hand to push and come and sit. Okay. Okay. So now, few more for the ligaments also. Again, when you're sitting like this, if you're sitting in the easy, whichever leg is in the front, I want us to take that leg gently outside. So careful because there are two kinds of rotation that we do. If again, you are a beginner, try to be a little gentle with yourself. If you have done it, I'll show the whole transition so that we know what we are doing. If I'm sitting here, I want us to swing my entire leg all the way outside. But while I'm doing that, I will not look here. I'm trying to move my entire torso too, so that I don't hurt or get a catch anywhere on my ligaments. Okay. So if I'm swinging this leg, what I do is I move my entire body and I look that side. So my entire body is on that side. Okay. I hope we are clear on the moving part. Okay. And if you are a beginner or you're doing the first time, always comfortably see where we are, and you can always move your legs in part. But when you're doing that, always make sure you want to move your torso too, so that you don't get a catch on it. Sorry. Now, since the toe is this side, I'm facing this side. So when I roll my shoulders, if I'm sitting straight, my core, spine, and my ligaments are working because the toe is straight now. Okay, it is active. The two kind of stretches there. So when I'm looking towards it, I try to go towards my toe with both the hands. Again, the same stretch. This time we are going to do it separately. Sorry. The other leg, never tuck it inside. It can be outside. This has to be 45, but never tuck it inside. Okay. And this has to be straight. If the knee is coming up, gently use the other hand to push it down wherever we are. If we are here, very good, we do this. If we are here, we do the same thing that we did on the both legs out. We go, come back, we go, come back. Try to do this 4 or 5 times. When you know that you have already reached your limit, again, never say you're not able to do this. Don't say I cannot do this. If you can keep doing that, the body is like an elastic. So with practice every day, you go a little more forward. So you can always say, today I'm not able to do it, but always there is another one. So always continue that. So wherever you are, hold. If you're able to hold, push your body forward. And be very careful when you do that. When you're holding, when you're pushing, that is where you get the extreme ligament stretch here. So if you're able to hold comfortable, very gently push yourself up. See if you can touch your elbows on your mat. See? And then on the fifth time, hold. Again, try to keep your knee and your head together. Stay. Up. Now, this is the side for one leg. What I want us to do is now keep your leg where it is. Try to move your torso straight. So when my torso is straight, I'm also getting a nice stretch on my hip and my ligaments too. So when you're sitting like this, you'll get a nice on your spine too. If you're going like this, if you are not able to sit like this, you can also use your hands as a support. So always try, if it's going this, use your hand here, give yourself extra push to keep your torso straight and sit. So active. You'll feel the nice stretch on your ligaments on this side. If you're very comfortable, gently sit like this, roll your shoulders, spine straight, breathe. Gently relax, bring the leg back. Anytime you want to take a break with your asanas, always go down to child position. So I'll show you the other leg transition. Okay, we'll repeat the same with the other leg now. So keep the other leg which you want to swing in front of you. Same process. I want us to swing the leg at one go. If we do it regularly, also make sure you're moving your torso along. If you're moving, look towards your toe, move the whole body towards them. So once you're comfortable with that, roll your shoulders, sit straight. Try to keep your toe active, knee down on the mat. Now when you're comfortable here, this is also a stretch because you're stretching your spine here. If you're comfortable, try to sit straight. To start that we sit both the legs. Now you can with one leg here. So once you are relaxed, comfortable, try to go for the. See if you can reach it with one hand comfortably. You can bend. If this is very comfortable, there is it. You can go with your both the hands. So wherever we are, if this is going down, it's very nice. You can always go down. See, if both the hands are there. Good. Wherever we are, try to go, do the same motion 5 to 6 times. If I'm here, I'll be doing this. So wherever the extreme is, come out of the comfort zone, stay there. So if I'm here, I'll stay 5. Take your breaths, stay at least for 5 breaths, stay there. Okay. So again, the second is to bend your elbows. So if you're here, bend it. If you're here, bend it. All on the second step I want is the torso to go a little front. So next is not to, intention is not to touch the toes anymore. It is basically the torso to go down. So if you're here, bend. If you're touching, bend. Wherever we are, we go, the torso goes a little front. Okay. So bend and see again. It's again the head now. So if you're here, use the same movement and push it down. If it's down, hold, stay. So active, head to the knee, elbows down, stay. And come back up, bring your legs back. Now, what I showed was both the legs and one leg each for ligament stretches. Now, if you're a beginner and you're doing this for the first time, I want to show a modification too, which will help you to go for it more to see yourself where you are today. Okay. So if you are here and you're very far away and your neck is very far away, what I want you to do is bend your knees, see if you can touch your head on them. Okay. You can bend and see. Now, if you're comfortable here, sometimes even this is not comfortable because nothing, it's just your neck muscles and shoulders are very tight. Here, the ligaments are no longer working. It's just your neck muscles and shoulder muscles. So this also has to open up because sometimes These are the muscles that conditions us to go and open our ligaments. The ligaments are open. But the extreme, when you do the extreme stretch, sometimes it's not the ligaments, it's your neck and your shoulders that doesn't let you go and conditions you. Okay. So I'm trying to, you can see, you can know your body. Yoga is not all about the asana. It also helps us to know the body properly. So we can know if our shoulders and neck muscles are tight, and we need to work on that too. So you can bend your knees, touch your head on your knee. You can see if you're comfortable, what I want to do is slide your knee a little more down and then go down. If you're comfortable, repeat the process till you again feel like, okay, this is somewhere I'm struggling and I want to keep down, you want to come back up. So that is where you put your head down, use your hand, give it extra push and stay. When you're doing that, there'll be a little pain developing in your neck and going down here. So that is exactly what happens when your neck muscles and shoulder muscles are tight and it opens up. So there you can exactly go down with your straight ligaments down. There. Then your neck and shoulders will not condition you to go down. Okay. So now we have done the size on the ligament. I want us to use two asanas to make some feet. So core and your ligaments now. So when one leg is in front, I want you to swing it on one side. This time, again, whenever you swing your leg extreme on one side, also move the torso sidewise because your hip sometimes tends to get a catch if it's not warmed up. Okay, so what I want us to do is basically knee coming here, this one coming here. So if it is here, now if my torso is straight, because it's already warmed up now for this asana, okay? So if my torso is straight, I want my toes to be straight and I don't want us to go bend like this. First, I want us to see if I can touch my toes. This is again another extreme stretch for the ligaments. So wherever we are, if we are here, wherever we are, I don't want us to do this. I want us the torso to be straight wherever we are. The asana is when you go down, if you're able to hold it, again, if you're able to hold it, very gently is where you pull. The moment you pull, the ligament starts pulling here in extreme inner thigh. So be very gentle with your body. If you're holding, pull. If you're able to pull, very nice. So now the end of the entire thing is when you roll your shoulders up, I don't want us to go down like this. I want us to go up and gentle go behind, hold, touch, look up. Because it's already warmed up on the sides for this. So still. When you come back, always lift this hand up, gently come back, straight up. Okay. When you're down, this stretches your torso very nicely. So it's an extreme stretch. So wherever you are, if you are here, if the hand is here, swing it here. Don't have to go back because the moment you lift your hand go up, the torso gets an extreme stretch. Okay, I want us to repeat the same on the other side. Bring your legs back down. Then bring the other leg in front. Swing this and same way outside. Now, look straight, so active, torso straight. Go towards the leg now. So wherever we are, if we are here, try to go down. But don't go like this. I'm not already done this stretch. This is the warm up. We already stretched our ligaments. So now I'm going to see if we can reach the asana. Okay. So when you do this, go straight. Don't go bend. Stay straight. Touch. See where we are. Gently go down. If you are holding, hold on to that. Wherever you are comfortable, come out a little of that and stay. Now, if you're getting this, gently pull yourself. Try to go elbow on the knees. The last is your torso. If you're able to do this, swing your hands straight up, keeping your torso, swing it back and bend. Try to look up and stay. Gently swing the hands up. Because we stretch it a lot, so sometimes we tend to get a little bit of pain. So I want you to relax on that. Again, in between any time you want to take a break, I'll show you the modification of child that you can do it anytime. It's anyways good for your entire body too. So in child, there are different modifications. Sometimes the body restricts us to go down. If we are able to go down, very nice. Try not to lift the hip up, stretch your hands and try to keep the forehead down. This is a nice stretch for your entire body and spine. And if you're anytime you want to take a break, you can always go down. Now, if the body is restricting you and you're not able to go down, you can always open our knees a little bit so that we have space for the torso to touch the mat or at least to go down. The space should be created for that. When you're doing that, I'll show you from the back. Never do your tuck your toes like this. Always make sure it is always like that. Never sit on each like the other one. So now, if you spread your knees, there will be little space, more space for the torso to go down. You can always go down this way too. And sometimes if this is also not, then you can always use props or you can use your hands. You can make a fist of your hand and you can rest on your fist too. So in child, basically your neck and your shoulder should not be hanging. Sometimes people raise their hip to go down. So instead of that, see if you can keep your hip to the it's down and you can use your fist. You can use bricks also. You can use your fist like this and you can go down. The higher you are, you can use two fists too. But suggested is try and see wherever you are, try and give yourself a nice stretch here. Okay. So this is about if you want to take a break and if you're doing 2-3 asanas at the same time, always go to child if you're beginner in between so that the body restores itself and that's continuing. Great. So now coming back to the ligaments in the core, I'm going to touch base a little bit of hip and then we're going to jump a little bit of flanks for the core. That will be like hardcore. Core is basically nothing but the muscles that holding onto your torsos. So torso is very important for your posture corrections. So if you get your plank right, your walking posture, your sitting posture, your core, you see a lot of people, they go to gym and get these cuts. You can get that exactly by doing a proper core plank also. Okay, so we'll show the different modifications of plank. But before that, I want you to move your little bit, hip a little bit. So if you're sitting like this on your mat, what I want you to do is keep your legs outside the mat, like this. The leg has to be outside the mat. Keep your hands straight. Now, one leg at a time, try to bring your leg down. Try not to raise the hip. Okay. If it is raising, it's fine. Intention is to actually not raise the hip. Intention is not to touch the knee to the mat. If it is here, it is here. If it is raising up, stop there. Don't do this with your hip going up. So we stay wherever we are, we stay. If it's here, we stay. If it is here, we stay. Don't raise the hip up. Okay. So each side at least 3 times. Okay. Gently go down, come back up. One more time. Great. Now, I want the same movement for both the sides. I want both the legs to fall on once at the same time. So if I'm falling this side, I'm doing this again. Try not to do this. Our intention is to keep your hip down. So try not to move the torso straight. If the torso is here, keep it there. Okay, don't do this. If the leg is here, it's okay. Every time we do, every day we do, we improve. Okay, but don't lift your thing and bring the torso straight. Torso bend. The torso has to be straight. So each side 3 times. Be gentle on it. And one more thing that you do not do here is while you're doing, don't keep doing and go in the front. That your hand starts hanging. If you are here, if you're started from here, make sure this is the base, this is the form. So if you're doing it here, come back, go back, come back. So your body should not be moving forward also. Okay. One last time. Now gently. Legs out. This is last one stretch. Go down, gently see where we are. Head down. All I want you to put wherever your body hand is, but the main thing is to put your head down. Now, gently down. So now we are going to do planks, which is a nice, very nice. Plank is basically a full body exercise. There are different variations of plank. We have full plank, we have elbow planks. Now, going on a full plank, the whole body is supported by our wrist and our toes. So I always would suggest to always flex or warm your wrist and your toes before going to plank. Because suddenly if you go into it, your body wrist is not warm up, you will not be able to hold plank for a longer time. And also you may fall and get hurt. Okay. So there are very few nice exercises that you can do when you go to plank. Before that, when your toes flexing it inwards, so the way you're flexing it inwards, flex it outwards also. The way it goes down straight. It's okay. Same way, do it 3 times. In, out. One more time. In and out. Now, same thing I want us to do, but what I want to do is this is again being mindful. We have to be a little conscious and mindful because when you're in our plank position, the whole body weight goes on our wrist and on our toes. So we should know exactly what those body parts are doing. We have to be a little mindful. So just to know how mindful or how balanced we are right now, try to flex your toes, one down and this one up. Try not to forget any one of it. If you're putting balance more on this, try not to forget this, flex it inside. Same way, if this is coming inside, that goes out. Okay. It has to be a balanced pose that you're doing. Okay, one more time. Great. Now we're listening with your toes, coming to our hands. Since we're going on our wrist, what I want us to do is very simple to exercise with. Keep your hands like this. Now, if your hands are in the front, try to rotate your hands wherever you're sitting and just try to lean a little forward and come back. Go a little forward and come back. One more time, go a little forward and come back. Okay. Now, one last exercise that you do on the wrist. So when you're going to hold your plank, before going to plank, it starts from tabletop. So we're going to do a little on the wrist again. I'll talk about tabletop too. So when you're tabletop, it's basically name suggests the table. So all the 4 limbs in the hands has to be at the same way. It cannot be up or down. My body cannot be like this, or it has to be in a straight way. Another more important thing is your knee has to be aligned with your heel. Your heel cannot be tucked inside. Every time you're in a tabletop, try to make sure your knee is where your heel is. And if you're holding your hand, always keep the thumbs facing inside, like this. So that the eye of the elbow is facing the eye of the elbow. Now, a lot of people, they have hyperextended hands. There's nothing wrong. It's just a body anatomy. The hands are longer. So when they do, the hands become something like this. This part tends to come out. So there, what we do is nothing else. The thumb goes inside. Always open your fingers when you're on the mat to get better grip. Like this. And bend your elbows a little bit inside. So your eye is facing the other eye. Okay. Now, coming back to the wrist exercise. If you are here, what I want us to do is hold your tabletop right and one at a time, not same. Don't do this both the hands at the same time. I want you to take your wrist straight and lock your elbow. When I'm saying locking your elbow, it's like your complete elbow is straight. Okay. Again, straighten up. Same with your other hand too. If you do 3 times more, this just warms up your wrist. Okay. Again, same on the other side. Yeah. Okay. So this is basically warming up your wrist here. Last one that you do is make a fist of your hand like this. Keep your elbow straight and rotate the wrist in one side. Don't do this. I don't want you to do this. I want us to do rotate on one side. Okay. Do it 5 times each on one side. And then go on the other side. So now the wrists are nicely warmed up for planks. Okay. Going to plank. I'll show you the posture of plank. Mainly it's the posture and the do's and don'ts. What happens in plank is our knees tends to go down, and sometimes our stomach tends to go down. So consciously when we do, it has to be in a straight way. So we'll try to hold the plank. First, let me show you the position. If you're in your tabletop here, gently lift your body. Now again, going body to body, the different anatomy body-wise. So I'll show you different ways to go to plank. Simply, if your body is right and you keep doing plank, you can just lift yourself up, push your heels back and stay. So now my body is straight. I'm not doing this. Don't go with your knee down or don't do this. If you do this, this is downward dog, a half of downward dog. So try to keep your shoulders aligned where you're, so don't do this also what I'm doing. So make sure your shoulder is exactly where your wrist is and hip down. Okay, stay. This is where you hold the plank. Okay, this is a full plank that we do. So when you're doing, if your body is going down, try to not go down and keep your knees a little up. That is one thing you can do. And if you're thinking you're falling down, try to come back to downward dog. You can always lift yourself up like this. You'll always lift yourself up a little bit, take yourself a little break and adjust yourself. Okay. Never keep your pressure on any kind of stress on your shoulders. What you have to do is make sure your core is what is holding your body. You should be feeling the tension here, nowhere else. Okay. So you'll be doing the plank for the full plank in 1 minute. Again, a lot of people, if full plank is not doable, what we can do is we can do a modification of full plank with our knees down. What we do is we can always fold your knees and see if you can hold this. Lift your knee up and see. This is basically working half on your core. Okay. Again, if you have any kind of knee pain, I will not suggest you to do this. Okay. So we'll hold the full plank, the entire full. Okay. I'll time it. We'll see if I can do 1 minute. If you want to time yourself, you can always do that. Timing is good because in plank, when you time, you can always keep improving yourself. If you're a minute, you can always go more than that. If you're less than 30 seconds, try to hit 30. And once you go for plank, come down, take a break, go for 1 more. Try to do 2-3 sets of plank. Always try to go a little more higher than that. Okay? So we'll hold the full plank. Okay, great. Try to adjust your posture, right? Don't do this. Don't do this. Make sure your shoulders are aligned with your wrist and your legs are nicely aligned, hip down. A minute. When you come from plank, don't fall. I want you to bend your knees one at a time. Relax. This is where you go down to child. Never fall. So if you're in plank, if you're tired, don't fall like this and do this. If you fall also, try to come to child. Try, come to child and relax. If you are with your knees down, you can go very nice. Otherwise, you can always open your knees. Stay down. At least take nice 5 to 10 breaths. Now, if you want to take more breaks, you can take the elbow plank. So always try to hold at least 2-3 sets of planks. I'm going to show you the modifications of planks so that it's easier. If you're sometimes for people, they're more comfortable in holding elbow planks because the wrists are a little weak. Sometimes you may have injury or the shoulders are not that good, the elbow strength, that way it's full plank is nicer. So we'll do both. You can find your comfort because plank is a plank. Full plank, elbow plank, both gives the, it's nice for the entire, for the whole body package basically. Okay. So if this is a full plank, elbow plank, what we do is bend your elbow. If this is the wrist, bend your elbow exactly where the wrist falls. Okay. Now, we've already in a half puppy pose. What we do is we lift our legs and we push our heels, feature, and we adjust a little arcing. So if I'm here, my shoulders are exactly where my elbows are now. And I go down a little bit. Okay, I'm not going straight down. I'm not doing this. I'm staying straight. Okay, this is elbow plank. Okay, you can use your hand. You can hold as a fist, or you can keep it straight. Okay, and coming down again, you can always, not always come down with one leg. Don't fall both the legs. Okay, always make sure you're gentle on yourself. One knee at a time. Come gentle and then. Okay, so I'm going to put a timer again just to see where we are. We're going to hold the elbow back, okay? Make sure the posture is right. Body shouldn't go down. Knees are straight. Knees shouldn't go down also, okay? Let's do it. If you're in this pose, if you want for better support, you can always hold your fist. Lift yourself up. Push your body down now. And adjust your shoulders and stay. Come back to the child. Go down and take few breaths. Now, so plank is something with the modifications, elbow planks, full plank, there are side planks also. If you're very good in holding full plank, you can go and hold side planks. But your balance has to be very nice to hold side plank because if you're not, your balance is not right, you may fall on the sides. So when you work on your side plank, always start with your balance. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Sorry. So when you're on tabletop, if you want to go on your side planks, always try and see if you can do your side balances and also see how your cross balances. Like if I'm pushing my right hand out, this is cross balance because my left leg and my right balance is okay. Now, if I want to go on one side, like if I'm pushing my, say this hand, this leg, and I'm again pushing my this hand, so this is on the side, sorry. This is the side balance because my same side is out. My left hand and my left leg is up. This is side balance, okay? So once your balance is right, if you're holding plank like this, and if you want to go on the side, you can always go on the sides too. But again, the balance has to be really nice. If the balance is not right, you may topple on the side. So once the balance is right, you can always lift your leg up too. This is the advance of plank that you hold in your elbow plank. Okay, great. Now, I want you to do cobra from here, which is again very nice for your spine and your core too. So there's no modifications of it. What I want you to do is when you're in your tabletop, try to go down with your stomach on your mat, not the chest, the stomach. So if I'm here, I'm going with my stomach down. Okay, again, the only important thing here you have to be mindful about is your toes and your heels. When you're going down on cobra, your heels has to be together. If it falls out, the stretch goes on the side. If it is tucked together is when you get the stretch on your spine, straight spine, and the core also. Okay, so when your hands are on your side, if your heels are tucked, lift yourself up, keeping your hip down. Don't lift your hip up. This is cobra. This is a very nice asana for your core strengthening. So as much as you can go up, try to keep your heels consciously together. Look up and breathe. Okay. Great. Now this is full cobra. So if this is extreme, this is an extreme stretch. So if this is very extreme and you're beginners, what we do is we do baby cobras. If your hand is here, I keep where my elbow is, and I stay like this. Put my hip down, heels together, hands in the front. Look up. You can always stretch your neck up and breathe. Okay. Now, these are the modifications of cobra, which gives you a nice flexing of your spine and good for your core strengthening. Coming back from here, when you're doing your cobra, your spine is always stretched up like this. So it's always good to give it a little rest. So what we do is we go to a lizard pose. It's nothing but keeping your hands in your front, like keep your hands in front, like one in front of this, like this. Okay, and keep your chin. Want you to block any of the airways. You should not be blocking your nose or your mouth when you go down. Don't keep your mouth down or your nose down. Keep your chin on your back of your palm. Make sure the heels are together and look in front. If you want to have a nice relaxing, you can always close your eyes and take few breaths. And when you're breathing, try to breathe from your stomach, which you also call conscious breathing. It's very nice when you're in this pose. Okay, take few breaths. If you're doing conscious breathing in lizard, you can see my body. The only thing that is moving is the stomach. This is exactly how lizards breathe. If you see a lizard, this is exactly how their body moves. Consciously try to keep the heels together. If the heels fall out, the stretch is gone. There will be no stretch on your spine and your this one, okay? Back. So make sure the heels are tucked together when you're doing this. Now, coming from here, we're going to do one more asana, which is very nice for your any kind of backing. It's a restorative also. It's called downward dog, very good. And it's one of the nice asanas to get a hold of your core also. Okay. So if you're here, if you're a beginner, I want you to go in steps. Like if you're here, try to bring your hand here. Tuck. This is called tucking the toe. Okay. Come to tabletop. Okay. And from downward dog. Downward dog is basically lifting your body on your hands and toes, but bending wherein your tailbone faces straight up towards the ceiling. It also stretches the ligaments if you try to place your heels down. If your toes are like this, you can always flex and see and try to see and keep your heels down. Now, if your heels are down, try to push yourself away from the mat. Your hands are here. Try to push yourself away from the mat. Okay? Come back up, away, and stay. Now, if you're getting this right, try to look your heels are touching. Try to bend knees straight and look towards your navel. Okay. So, now, if you're not able to touch your heels and we are here, try to push your toes a little more away so that you get that stretch for your shoulders. and also flex your toes. Don't flex it front. Don't try to bring your knee front. Try to bring your heels down. When you flex it opposite so that your heels go down and you get a stretch on your ligaments also. Okay? Be very gentle and careful when you do this. Anytime you want to take a break from here, you can always go to child. If you're comfortable, hold this. Knee straight so that your tailbone is facing straight to the ceiling. Okay. Now, gently come and go to child. Take few breaths on child. Now, when I showed how you come out of cobra and go to downward dog, was for beginners because I had a stop in between. We went from cobra, we went to tabletop. Now, if we are regularly doing it, or if you're comfortable raising your body up, you can straight away go from cobra to downward dog without taking that break. What I mean is, if you are here, okay, what you can do is, you can use your hands, tuck your toes, lift your torso, which is again the core. Okay, if the core is good, you can lift it up, push your body up in one go, and go. Okay. When your core gets tight, you can actually lift yourself up, and you can do that. Okay. So this way, we have the asanas, which is very good for your core, ligaments, mix of everything. Very good again for your back pain and your spine. If you're doing core and ligament, I always want you to lie in savasana, not the way I'm standing, I'm sitting right now. Savasana I've already showed you. You can listen. If you are listening to me, you can please lie down in savasana and listen, because you've done a lot of core and ligaments, and I want your spine to be rested, as rested as it can be. I'll be coming on the session at 5 o'clock, but I would want everybody to please stay in savasana minimum 2 to 3 minutes. And when you're staying in savasana, try to keep your legs falling outside and keep a distance. It should not be very close. Try to have a proper distance between them. The legs has to fall out. Always keep your palm facing upwards, never down, keep it upwards. Okay. And when you come out of savasana after you're done, please bend your knees and come. You can always put your toes together first, bend your knees, swing it in whichever side you're comfortable. Use the same hand as your pillow. Don't do this. Don't stay hanging on one side. Always bring this hand, come and stay in the front. And once you're done, you can always push yourself, come and sit. Okay. This is for the session for today. If anybody wants to ask any question, you're welcome. Otherwise, I'll be signing off. Marja, are you there? Anybody on the line? Okay. So I'll be signing off for today. Namaste, everyone. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste. Have a nice evening.